Hi everyone, and this is Lab6 code. So hopefully you've downloaded it and got it launched in Visual Studio. So if we have a quick look at this, now your task for this lab was to get some interaction going on the screen using the mouse. So if we run it just now, what we should find is that at the moment nothing happens. So we're clicking away quite merrily and nothing happens, so we have to somehow remedy that. Okay, so just before we go on and have a look at the code that we need, we'll see here that we've got the textures that we want to, or the names for the textures that we want to store, and that'll just make life easier for us, and the actual physical locations of these textures in the images folder with their name. Now that associates on a 1-to-1. Okay, so grass has this image associated with it, and this for loop simply adds all the textures that we need so that we can actually use them. Here we have the starting position for the tile map. Now the tile map was the big green one that you saw that had nothing really in it other than sort of green tiles. The tree picker, that's the starting position for the tree picker. Now the tree picker was the one that you saw at the side, the right hand side, and it had 4 tiles in it. Okay, it was 4 different trees, and here we've set the background here. So we've set the background to 0, 0. We've chosen the background texture, and we then get the dimensions of the background, which is important for us later on. Okay, so having seen that and done that, now what we want to do is essentially be able to grab a tile, a tree, and drag it and drop it on the main map. Okay, so to do that we've got a couple of things that we want to do. Okay, now the first thing is that we need to be able to register the mouse click, take that mouse click and update the tile map so that it positions the tile correctly. So to do that, we're going to first of all go down into the get input section. So if we go down to the get input section in here, and you'll see that I've got a bit there already that says lab code goes here. So what we're doing here is when the mouse button is down and it's the left mouse button, then we want to first of all pick up what tree it is that we're going to work with. So to do that, what we're first of all going to do is we somehow need to capture what it is that the position of the mouse at that moment in time. Now there are a few different ways to do this. What we're going to do is use an STL point, and we're going to say the area clicked equals, and because we're going to pass in 2 parameters at the one time, because the point has an X and a Y position, we're going to use the braces, and we're going to say event dot button dot button dot X, and then we're going to pass in event dot button dot Y. Oh, I've spotted a mistake. That should just be dot X there. So now we've got the 2 parameters, semicolon at the end. We've got the area that was clicked when the mouse button was put down. So what we want to do with that is we want to then use a variable that we've got in cgame.h, which is down at the bottom here, called tree picker, and we've also got the tile map. These 2 objects look after the tile map and the tree picking map. We've also got, as you can see there, tree tile clicked and map tile clicked, and we'll use them to show which tiles have been clicked. Okay, so going back into here, we've got our point in time, So what we want to do here is we want to say tree picker dot update, and you'll see that it takes, you can see here that it requires the area clicked. So we'll quickly copy that, paste it in there, and put in our semicolon. Alright, now once we've done that, what we're going to need to do next is we're going to somehow have to tell it where to plant that tree. Okay, now this is pretty basic at the moment and we'll build it up a wee bit as we go along. Alright, so we come down here to where it says SDL left button and it's underneath the mouse button up. We'll go in here and again we've got the same thing we want to do, which is we want to take this SDL point and we want to paste it in here. We're going to take a copy of it and use it. Now when you create this here at this line or at this line with the SDL point, that's what we call a local variable. It will only live for the duration that's active. Okay, so you can't call it later on. So at this point we've got the tile map, and what we want to do with that is we want to update it. So we'll use update, and you'll notice that it takes both the area clicked and the tree to plant. So again we'll just copy the area clicked, paste that in, insert a comma, and now it wants the tree to plant. Now where are we going to get the tree to plant? Well, the tree picker looks after that. As part of its update function, it's already worked out which tree it is that you've picked. So we can simply say the tree picker dot get tree to plant. So there's a function already there. Now because it's a function, open and close your brackets and do a semicolon. Okay, now that we've got that, what we finally need to do is we need to set the tree back to -1. As a default it starts at -1, okay, and we want to set that back to -1, which indicates we haven't picked a tree. Okay, so that's quite important. So, whoops, the tree picker, be good if I could spell, the tree picker dot set tree to plant. Again, it's a function, so we need our open close brackets and we put in -1, and that will physically set it back to -1. And what we're saying there is that while it's at -1 we haven't picked a tree. Okay, so let's run our code and see what we get. And what we want to do is grab the tree that we want. So this one here is my favourite, so we'll hold the left mouse button down, we'll drag till we find a position on the map that we want, anywhere you like, and we'll then release, and hey presto, the tree's planted. Now what we want to do now is we want to update that so that if you drag it, which you can see is not happening at the moment, and then release, the actual image of that tree follows with you. Okay, so we'll update that in a wee second. So to update the code so that we can do the drag and drop, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go back to SDL left button. Okay, so that you can see there the mouse down SDL left button, and in here what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to add some extra code. Now the thing is that if get tree to plant is equal to -1, then we don't want to do anything with it. Really, we want to just leave it alone. However, if we've selected a tree, then essentially we want to set what we've called a drag tile, and we want to set that value so that we can see the tile that we want to drag. So what we're going to say is if the tree picker dot get tree to plant, remember it's a function, so open close brackets, is greater than -1, which means that we've got a tree to plant, then what we're going to do is we're going to say drag tile, which is the image or the tile that we're going to drag. So drag tile dot set sprite position equal to the area clicked, because that's its starting position where you've clicked, and it will pick that up underneath the mouse. Okay, and then we'll say drag tile dot set texture. So we want to set the texture based on the current tile that we've found. Okay, and we do that through the texture manager. So the texture manager, and because it uses pointers we need the wee arrow system, get texture and the name of that texture. Now to get the name of that texture we use texture name, which is our list that we saw earlier on, square brackets because it's an array, and we get the tree picker dot get tree to plant. Remember it's a function, so we have to put in the round brackets -1. Now remember, arrays start at 0, so the value we get back we'll need to take it 1 off of it, and we put in a semicolon. Okay, then what we have to do is set the dimensions for the tile, because it's important that it gets those dimensions. Okay, so to save a bit of typing, I'm just going to cut and paste. You see it's quite a long line, but what we're doing here is we set the tile's dimensions. Again, we use the texture manager to get the texture that we need, which is the same as the line above essentially, but this time we're extending it a bit further so that we can get the width of that tile, and same again here, we can get the height of that tile. So it just gets us the height and the width. Now they're all set, they're all about 64 by 64, but that just is to get that height and width. So last thing we need to do is we need to make a kind of constant motion, and to do that we are going to use this one here called drag tile dot set sprite position, and you can see there that we've got event.motion.x and event.motion.y, which just picks up the mouse motion as it goes along. So hopefully when we do this and build it, when I grab the tree it should drag along with me and then get planted. Okay, now that we've got that in, we'll need to go back up to render, and we'll need to render that tile that we've got. So what we want to do is we want to use a wee bit of code, which I'm just going to copy and paste in because I'm running short of time on the video, and we want to go to the end of this line and do a Control V and paste that in. Now essentially what we're saying there is, if we've got a tile selected, then render that tile. Okay, and that's essentially it. So hopefully when we do this we should see that if we click my favourite tree it comes along with me and we can plant it. Okay, hopefully that helps.